is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Right now at 6 on Good Morning Indiana.
Making less than half of what I was when I was working.
You're ready to make the next career move, and scammers are hoping to cash in on your desire to find a better job. Hiring Hoosiers has the details and the alarming report showing the magnitude of this problem.
Efforts by the city of Indianapolis to protect renters could soon be thrown out by the state. We're live breaking down how a bill moving through the Senate could impact you.
Residents in Lawrence are paying more for water flowing from the faucet.
You can't keep putting Band-Aids on things. Eventually, you got to replace it.
Working for you, we're looking at why city leaders say the increase is necessary.
It is 6 o'clock here on your Tuesday morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Driving up on I-65 this morning, a slight little drizzle, a little fog, but you know, A-okay for another winter day in central Indiana.
Yeah, no complaints really, because it is still February. Todd Clausen is breaking down kind of that mixed bag we're dealing with this morning, Todd.
Yeah, you know, temperatures are well above freezing, so you don't have to worry about any ice, any snow in your forecast for the day today. That is going to change tomorrow. We'll talk more about that coming up in just a little bit. You may see the winter storm watch bug there on the top of the screen. Temperatures right now are in the 30s and 40s. Visibilities anywhere from 2 to 3 miles. It's not usually until you get to 1 mile or less that you really start to run into some issues. So yeah, you'll see a little bit of fog out there, but I don't think it's going to cause too much in the way of any issues on the roadway. Storm Team 6 radar continues to show some showers. They're all pretty scattered and light in nature, and there's a little bit of drizzle, as Raphael mentioned, in and around these areas that you see in the green. The drizzle's just so light that the radar simply can't pick it up. But then off to our west, this is where we see the snow, and that's going to be making its way into our area during the overnight hours. And tomorrow, 37 right now in Crawfordsville, holding on to 40 in Indianapolis. Temperatures today really don't move a whole lot. We go up a couple degrees. That is just about it. More on the snow coming up in just a few minutes. But right now, let's get you updated on the roads with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here is a live look right now outside I-465 and East 56th Street. This is on the northeast side of town, where you can see traffic is moving along just fine. No delays to slow you down. So let's take a look on the south side. Planning your drive time on northbound I-65 from Southport Road to I-70 at the North Split. It is a 10-minute commute at this hour. No delays for south side drivers heading up the interstate.
Hiring Hoosiers is all about connecting you to jobs, and that means working to earn money, not lose it.
But several job offers are guaranteed to cost you a couple $1,000s. This morning, Hiring Hoosiers takes a look at a $28 million problem impacting thousands of people. It's been a whirlwind for Rossi Thomas. Her first wedding anniversary is in April, and she's looking for a new part-time job to earn extra money.
What we get now pay for the necessities. This would just be money to live with, you know, enjoy going out to dinner.
She uploaded her resume online, seeking a position as an executive assistant close to her South Side Indianapolis apartment. Fears that her age would be a barrier proved wrong as she began receiving feedback.
I've heard, like I said, your skills are excellent. We think we can use you, but the location is, you know, not what I'm looking for.
Too far.
Too far, or the hours are not feasible. So
she was relieved when she was emailed about an opportunity to work from home.
This was an ideal job.
The offer involved her depositing this check for $1,900 into her bank account to help a man claiming to be a businessman in need of a personal assistant. The job would pay $950 a week.
Hold up, that's not right. If I'm working for you, where's the business account?
A new alert from the Federal Trade Commission shows the average loss to this job-related scam is nearly $2,000. In 2019, there were 27,000 fake check complaints reported nationwide, with losses exceeding $28 million. It's a good thing Rossi sent us an email.
You said, stop, it's fraud. People that's hurting and need income and looking for jobs, and for someone to throw this at them, you know, it's really messed up. I might have deposited it, yes. And they probably would have took this $1,900 and some.
Raphael, a $28 million loss clearly shows us that people are not paying attention to the warnings that we've been telling them about for years now.
And Meredith, great observation, because the losses to this job scam alone is among the tops in 2019. Nothing came close for a long mile. But, you know, that's the problem. People sometimes, we tell them about it, and they still want to do it. Luckily, Rossi did not fall for this scam.
So how exactly does the scam work?
So let's talk about the pattern, right? So you deposit $1,900. You can use any amount, but let's just say $1,900 this morning. The crooks, they request that you send them $900 out of that $1,900. The scammer tells you to keep about $1,000 as a payment. Then the check bounces. You can't find the person, but the scammer doesn't care because he has your $900. By the way, then the bank will hold you responsible for that bad check.
Well, we will have all these details posted right now on the IndyChannel.com and RTV6 app, something important for folks to share so no one else becomes a victim.
Here at 6:05, an ordinance approved by the Indianapolis City County Council aims at protecting renters. Now that safety net is being challenged by a new Senate bill. The mayor and the city county councilors have been working on this ordinance for weeks now. However, an amendment made on Monday to Senate Bill 340 voids major parts of the city's efforts. Our Kelsey Anderson working for you this morning with a closer look at this issue. Kelsey, what do folks need to know?
Hey, good morning, Lauren. So if that amended bill is passed, it would make it illegal for cities to force landlords to disclose tenants' rights, which was a big part of the mayor's push. In the proposal approved by the City County Council last night, landlords would be required to give tenants a notice of their rights and responsibilities. They would establish a fund to help tenants with legal aid, prohibit landlords from retaliating against tenants who file complaints, and prohibit discrimination against applicants based on their criminal records.
I just think that decisions to protect people from unfair evictions are most appropriately left to local government, and that's why we've supported this at the City County Council.
I think where a lot of us have the issue is we're almost putting the landlords in a guilty until proven innocent scenario with the courts for a retaliation of evicting a potentially delinquent or destructive tenant.
So let's take a closer look at the amendments made to the Senate's bill. It would prevent all local governments from regulating how landlords screen tenants, security deposits and other fees, lease application processes, and rights and responsibilities of tenants. The bill is scheduled for a second reading this week. It'll then go on to a full vote. We've got all the information you need to know about the proposed bill, the amendments, and that bill that the proposal that the City County Council approved last night over on our RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
Kelsey, thank you. The time now is 6:08. That interstate crash and explosion involving a tanker carrying tons of just jet fuel could have long-term effects on the environment as well as wildlife. RTV6 has learned that some of the fuel has been found in local waterways. Environmentalists say that 3 ducks covered in fuel were found near Pleasant Run Creek in Irvington. The Indiana Department of Environmental Management says the fuel got into the creek through the interstate's storm water system. That crash happened Thursday on I-465 ramp to I-70 on the east side. Now, Susan Guthrie is an Irvington resident. She's worried about the situation.
I've heard there's supposedly no dead animals at this time, but given an amount of time of being poisoned with jet fuel, I'm sure that we'll see some dieback, that kind of thing. I hope not.
So let's look at the facts with more details. IDEM tells RTV6 there are no drinking water intakes along Pleasant Run Creek. The agency is working with the Marion County Health Department to oversee the cleanup. The department also says the trucking company involved in the crash will be responsible for all cleanup costs.
People in one central Indiana city say their water bills showed a steep, unexpected increase, and they want to know why. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. Alyssa, you've learned this is part of a rate hike that went into effect years ago.
That's right. So the superintendent of utilities with the city of Lawrence says this rate hike went into effect in 2017, and since then the increases have been somewhat subtle, so people haven't complained too much about it. But the most recent increase, the last one of 2020, also came at a specific time period in the year. It included holiday pay, which is why it did seem so high. Now, the rate hike, which was announced in a newsletter from the city of Lawrence Utility Department in March of 2017, was a necessity due to paying back $1.5 million loan. It was also necessary to make water system improvements, build a new plant, and perform basic maintenance like water main replacements. The rates went up for residents in 2017, then skipped a year in 2018 before another raise last year, and the final raise happening this year, 2020. Scott Salisbury, the superintendent of utilities for the city, says the timing added to the sticker shock for residents, as it fell right after the holidays when water use is typically much higher.
You know, you're doing a lot more cooking, maybe a lot more cleaning, certainly a lot more restroom and bathing uses. So those water bills go up, and if you don't realize that, you know, you'll run your water bill up without even realizing it.
Now, due to the skip in 2018 and just a minor increase in 2019, Salisbury believes some residents may have completely forgotten the rate increase was still in progress. Now, residents are encouraged to download the Eye on Water app. That is from the water department there, and that will notify you if there is a change in your water, if there is a sudden increase in your water usage, so that you can be aware if your bill is going to be higher. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. A trial is now set for an Indiana grandfather accused of dropping his granddaughter to her death from a cruise ship. Salvatore Nello appeared in a San Juan, Puerto Rico courtroom on Monday. He waived his right to a trial by jury, meaning a judge will weigh in on this case. Nello faces negligent homicide charge in the death of his 18-month-old granddaughter, Chloe Wiegand, on that Royal Caribbean cruise last July. Prosecutors say that he negligently exposed the girl through the window. The trial by judge is set to start April 2nd. The family is suing Royal Caribbean for the wrongful death of Chloe.
At 6:12, we are covering the State House this morning, a proposal requiring teachers to undergo handgun training if they want to carry guns in Indiana schools will not become law in 2020. Last month, we told you about the State House bill to pay for handgun training for teachers. The chair of the House Education Committee dropped that bill on Monday, and it won't be brought back. It's already legal for teachers to carry a gun in schools if the district allows it.
A crash involving a tractor trailer killed a woman on Sunday in western Indiana. We're working for you at 6:14 with how efforts to prevent similar crashes are stalled on Capitol Hill. Todd.
And as you walk out through this door this morning, you're walking out to some rain showers across parts of central Indiana. As you walk out the door tomorrow morning, though, we're talking about the potential of accumulating snow in the forecast. Winter storm watches are posted. We'll break it all down for you coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. The time now is 6:12. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6.
6-8. We're waiting to hear from you.
Welcome back. We're learning more about what's being done to prevent the type of crash that killed an Illinois woman in Vigo County over the weekend.
State police say that 32-year-old Ashley Williams died when her Jeep slammed into the underride of a semi-trailer on I-70 near the Illinois state line. Call 6 investigates Kara Kenny. She's been raising questions for years about whether federal standards for those guards are enough to keep drivers safe. Lawmakers, they filed the Stop Underrides Act. It would allow for the installation of new underride protections on every truck to prevent underride tragedies. But however, Congress has yet to pass that legislation.
A facility for adults and teens to earn degrees in job training is coming to Plainfield. On Monday, the town council approved a higher education center that will be called Made at Plainfield. Construction is set to start next month on the nearly 100,000 square foot facility just north of Plainfield High School. The center is a partnership between the town, school district, District, Vincennes University, Ivy Tech, and other organizations. Well, as kids are heading out to the bus stop this morning, we need to check in with Todd to see what they should be wearing. Do they need that raincoat? Do they need that winter coat, Todd?
You definitely need the raincoat, and I would suggest a warmer raincoat if possible here, especially one with a hood, because we're not dealing with some heavy rainfall. So I don't know if you necessarily need to carry that umbrella around to the bus stop or around all day, but you'll definitely probably want to put your hood up at times as we deal with some drizzle and a few lighter showers here and there, and just overall this very damp feeling that we have out there. You notice a few areas of what we'll call more substantial rain that's showing up on radar. Terre Haute over into the metro area down towards Greensburg, and then around these areas, though, there's definitely a little bit of patchy drizzle. Now, what we'll have to keep an eye on tomorrow is the potential for accumulating snow. Yesterday, I was telling you that the main snow band was going to be Chicago into western Illinois. The storm has shifted a little further to the south, and it's a complex storm in the sense that it's not one big area of low pressure that we're going to see move in. You notice two areas of low pressure, and where they come together in phase is going to turn into a very important ingredient into seeing who sees the most snow. And models have been shifting that a little further to the south, and that's why the winter storm watches have been posted across central Indiana throughout the course of the next day or two. This morning, though, it's just plain old rain. We'll deal with scattered showers and maybe a band of heavier rain that'll work its way through during the course of the afternoon hours, but there's no threat of any slick conditions from ice or snow this morning or this afternoon. This is just plain old rain. In fact, it's not until late tonight that we start to bring some of the colder air in, and eventually it will transition that rain over to some snow. And tomorrow morning's commute's a different story. Temperatures today really don't do a whole lot. We'll stay pretty steady right around the 40-degree mark throughout the course of the day with these rain showers off and on. Here's the winter storm watch, essentially just north of Indianapolis, and the rest of the counties north of Indy is under this watch for tomorrow. As we work our way throughout the overnight hours, we'll see that change over to snow across the area. This model's pushing some heavier snowfall totals in during the afternoon hours. So the morning commute may not be terrible, but the snow will continue throughout the day tomorrow. Looking at probably about 1 to 3 inches here in and around the metro area. Those 3-inch totals, the northern part of this purple band. The 3 to 5 inches as you work your way to the north, and then the sharp cutoff to the south as you work your way to Bloomington and Columbus. Probably nothing more than a coating, and at best. These are specific numbers for Indianapolis, and what you see here are these different letters, different computer models we look at. You notice the one only puts down just over a half an inch of snow, while everybody else is up right around 2.5 inches. So I think that 1 to 3 inch band for the metro area is sufficient. As we go throughout Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we get the sunshine back, but it's chilly with highs only right around freezing.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at your drive on I-70 east of the airport ramp. So you can see the wet roads. Traffic is moving along up to speed, and that is good news. Maybe you're heading out to catch an early morning flight this morning. You shouldn't have any delays on the interstates, but hey, good news if you are delayed. We just got results of a study ranking IND 9th best airport in the U.S. for late travelers. We know you can get through there pretty quickly this morning, so that just came out that they came in 9th place for that. The good news, though, again, on your interstates out that way, no crashes, no delays to slow you down.
Lauren, thank you so much. The time now is 6:20. Let's take a look at what's making headlines across our state today. Police in Harrison County say a second suspect involved in a police chase has died. A 31-year-old Brandon Lewis died from injuries sustained after being shot by police on February the 16th in Corydon. The incident involved Lewis and a woman bringing a stolen SUV from Kentucky before being stopped. The other suspect died at the scene. Another new safe haven baby box is in the works in our state. The Vincennes Board of Public Works approved a contract for a box at its meeting just last night. And that box will cost about $15,000 and allows parents in crisis to safely and anonymously surrender a newborn. 6 infants have been surrendered through that program, the most recent last week in New Haven.
Today on the Democracy 2020 front, 7 Democratic presidential candidates will take the stage in South Carolina for the 9th debate of the 2020 election. It will be the 2nd debate for former New York City Mayor Michael Bloomberg. Senator Bernie Sanders holds a delegate lead heading into South Carolina's primary on Saturday. And all eyes are on Wall Street today after yesterday's massive sell-off on fears the spreading coronavirus will weaken global economic growth. The Dow lost more than 1,000 points, erasing all of its gains for the year. The White House, meanwhile, has sent lawmakers an urgent $2.5 billion budget request to address the outbreak.
So let's talk money this morning. Cutting the cord is supposed to help you save some cash, but adding several streaming services can get a little expensive. New at 6:26, we're looking at how you can stream thousands of movies without paying a penny.
Well, February is American Heart Month, and each morning we're giving you tips to guide you to a healthier lifestyle. Make your morning drive a little less stressful by listening to calming music or an inspirational podcast. These tips are part of the Go Red for Women campaign sponsored by the American Heart Association. The time right now is 6:22. You're watching Good Morning Indiana right here on RTV6. We'll be right back.
9 a.m. to 9 p.m. at Ashley Home Store.
Welcome back. It is time to take a look at what is trending at 6. Here's a heartwarming story for you guys. A Massachusetts veteran now has a Purple Heart after 75 years after he got injured during World War II. Luis San Miguel was hit in the shoulder by shrapnel while fighting with the U.S. Army in Europe. The vet made several attempts over the years to get his Purple Heart. There he is there. The 95-year-old says he is overwhelmed that this moment has finally happened.
Long overdue.
Yeah.
Thank you for your service. I mean, that's just amazing.
Yeah.
Wow. The most expensive baseball jersey in the modern era sold at an auction Monday for how much? That's right, $369,000. And it belonged to Derek Jeter. The jersey is the first ever that Jeter ever wore for the New York Yankees during his inaugural 1995 season. The jersey also contains Jeter's signature as well as a handwritten note. And I want to know what the note says. I'm going to have to look into the story.
You might have to pay $369,000 to read it. Cut up your king cake and don some beads and revel in Fat Tuesday. It is Mardi Gras Fat Tuesday. It is the last day before Lent begins on Ash Wednesday. That's why it's often associated with overindulging on food and drink. We've got a live look right now from New Orleans, courtesy of Earth Cam. It shows the party winding down. There were just people out there like half an hour ago. If you're out and about, don't miss out on savoring a po' boy sandwich and a hurricane cocktail.
They all look like they're walking straight lines, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job.
They're like, wow, it's been a long night. Oh, my goodness. Well, back here at home, we have a wet Fat Tuesday. Luckily, we don't have a whole lot going on here locally today.
Yeah, you know, we're just dealing with drizzle here this morning, a few heavier showers, but they're pretty spotty in nature, and you can see those on Storm Team 6 radar. But it's all rain today. That's the good news, as temperatures are currently in the 30s and 40s. As you see on both sides of your screen, they're right at 40 degrees in Indianapolis. And to be honest with you, temperatures today really won't do a whole lot. They'll hold pretty steady throughout the entire day, right around that 40-degree mark. And then eventually this evening, we'll start to drop down into the 30s. As that happens, you notice a little bit of snow mixing in. That would be in some northern communities this evening and eventually overnight. But we all get into the potential for some accumulating snow tomorrow. That's why the Winter Storm Watch is posted across the area. We'll break that down for you in just a few minutes.
Todd, thank you. Every day, thousands of Americans cut the cord and they switch to those streaming services.
But some of those services still have a fee, as you know, and getting everything you want can, quickly just add up.
That's right. This morning, our John Matarese is working for you with how you can stream thousands of movies and shows without paying a dime.
Streaming TV is getting more expensive in 2020. Both Hulu and Netflix have recently raised prices, and if you signed up for Disney Plus, well, add another $7 to your monthly bill. But you may not know you can stream a lot of movies free. Cutting the cord is not the price break it used to be. Start with that $50 internet package, add Netflix, HBO Go, and other services, and suddenly you're paying almost $100 again. But CNET says you can stream thousands of movies at no charge, and we're not talking about illegal file sharing services. The best free movie streaming services include Sony's Crackle, with a rotating list of 200 classic movies, Free Dive, Amazon's ad-supported version of Amazon Prime movies, Hoopla, a library partnership that lets you rent movies free with your library card, and Walmart's Vudu with hundreds of free movies, many from the 80s and 90s. Finally, check Pluto TV for free Viacom shows from Comedy Central, MTV, and Nickelodeon, all free. The one downside of many free services, commercials, but you're not paying for it, so you don't waste your money. I'm John Madries. Good morning, Indiana.
This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now on Good Morning Indiana, on this Tuesday morning, here's a look at your 6:30 news feed. The teen accused of killing two siblings last year is expected to be in court today. A 15-year-old Lamitrius Sanders is being charged as an adult. Police say that he shot and killed 15-year-old Ashlyn Nelson and her brother 16-year-old Nicholas Nelson. Court documents detail that Sanders telling police that the shooting was an accident.
A guidance counselor at a Marion High School has been charged with having an inappropriate relationship with a student. 46-year-old Ryan Vermillion was arrested by the Wells County Sheriff's Office on Sunday. The Sheriff's Office says that an investigation found an inappropriate online relationship between Vermillion and a female student. They say no other students appeared to be involved.
Franklin College has a new president. The school announced that acting president Carrie Prather has the job effective immediately. Prather has served Franklin College for 38 years in various capacities. He replaces Thomas Minor, who was fired last month after his arrest in Wisconsin on child sex crime charges.
A southern Indiana school district working to deal with a suspected vaping problem. Over the last 3 weeks, 8 students and 2 teachers at Madison High School in Jefferson County have been taken to a hospital for illnesses related to vaping. Madison schools say it has put together an education and addiction assistance plan to help combat the use of vaping devices on that campus.
The Pacers back in action at the Fieldhouse tonight, but the team will be without a key player. The team says guard Jeremy Lamb will miss the rest of the season following a serious knee injury during Sunday's loss at Toronto. Also, Victor Oladipo missed Sunday's game with a back injury, and he could miss tonight's game against the Charlotte Hornets. That is a game-time decision.
Well, one thing you can't miss at all today, that rain. No matter where you are in central Indiana, you're going to get hit with it.
Yeah, you know, the good news is it's not a heavy rain that we'll be dealing with, and it's not an all-day rain. It's just kind of that pesky drizzle and just overall that damp feeling that we're going to be dealing with throughout the entire day. And this morning we have a little bit of patchy fog out there as well. It's not terrible this morning, but visibilities are fluctuating here between about 2 and 4 miles. Once you get down towards 1 mile, it gets a little dicey on the roadways. And we don't have a reading coming in from the airport over in Richmond, but that real dark gray spot you see, which would include I-70 over in Wayne County, that's likely below 1 mile. So just know that as you cross the miles off here in central Indiana this morning for your commute, visibilities will change. We also have some scattered showers that are building in here across the area, some drizzle as well. None of this is all that heavy, but it'll cause you to slow down on the roadways and also cause you to grab the rain jacket as you walk out the door. But what's off to our west is the concern for tomorrow, and that is going to be the potential for accumulating snow. But for the rain chances today, and all we're talking about is rain because temperatures will be above freezing, they'll kind of ramp up as we go throughout the day. So it's definitely not the brightest day for us, and it's a day that you just need to have that rain gear handy at times throughout the day today. Temperatures will hold pretty steady, right around 40 to 41 degrees through the noon hour. We'll talk more about the snow heading our way tomorrow coming up in just a few minutes, Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on traffic this morning as you're heading out there on this Tuesday. You will deal with some wet roads out there, but it's not causing any problems here at I-65. State Road 267 up in the Boone County area. Drivers on the northwest side have a smooth commute if you're heading maybe towards the downtown area. This morning, much of the city, county council, and the mayor are not happy with state lawmakers. An ordinance designed to protect people who rent their homes could soon be overruled by the legislature.
That ordinance has been in the works for weeks, but an amendment made yesterday to a state Senate bill could void major parts of the city's efforts. Our Kelsey Anderson joins us live this morning with a closer look at the issue. Kelsey.
Hey, good morning, Meredith and Lauren. So that amended bill, if passed, would make it illegal for cities to force landlords to disclose tenant rights, which was a big push for the mayor. In the proposal approved by the City County Council last night, landlords would be required to give tenants a notice of their rights and responsibilities, establish a fund to help tenants with legal aid, prohibit landlords from retaliating against tenants who file complaints, and prohibit discrimination against applicants based on their criminal records.
I don't think this is an issue of getting tenants their rights and a notice of their rights. I think this is more so a worry of now we're fining landlords for a potential delinquent or destructive tenant that is not paying the rent or tearing up the property.
Indiana is one of 8 states that doesn't have a retaliation protection for tenants. I know a tenant who's staying in the shelter right now, and she was evicted after having a verbal agreement with her landlord to keep her mother-in-law there. When she called the health department because her son burned himself on the broken covers on the electric baseboard heaters, they evicted her.
So let's take a closer look at the amendments made to the Senate's bill. It would prevent all local governments from regulating how landlords screen tenants, security deposits, and other fees, lease application processes, and rights and responsibilities of the tenants. The bill is scheduled for second reading this week, and then will go on to a full vote. So you can see more details on that proposal that was approved last night by the City County Council, plus the amendment to that bill that was voted on yesterday. You can see all of that over on the RTV6 News app. Reporting live, Kelsey Anderson, RTV6.
The time now is 6:34, and residents in one Indiana city opened their mailboxes over the weekend to find a water bill with a higher total than they're used to. The rate hike is for people who live in Lawrence, and our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. She's working for you with the reason for the increase. Alyssa, fill us in.
Good morning, Raphael. So the short answer is residents agreed to this rate hike about 3 years ago, but they may have forgotten about it just because of when it went into place. Now, the reason the most recent bill felt so extreme is because of the time period that water bill covered. Now, the rate hike, which was announced in a newsletter from the City of Lawrence Utility Department in March of 2017, was a necessity to pay back $1.5 million loan. It was also necessary to make water system improvements, build a new plant, and perform basic maintenance like water main replacements. The rates went up for residents in 2017. Then they skipped a year in 2018 before another raise last year. And then the final raise happening this year, 2020. Scott Salisbury, the superintendent of utilities for the city, says the timing added to the sticker shock for residents as it fell right after the holidays when water usage is typically much higher.
You're doing a lot more cooking, maybe a lot more cleaning, certainly a lot more restroom and bathing uses. So those water bills go up, and if you don't realize that, you run your water bill up without even realizing it.
And due to the skip in 2018 and minor increase in 2019, Salisbury believes some residents may have just forgotten the rate increase was still in progress. Now, residents are encouraged to download the Eye on Water app. That will tell you if your water usage is higher than typically it is for a certain month, so that you can be aware if you're going to see a higher bill coming your way. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. The time right now is 6:36. The coronavirus outbreak continues to spread, and now it's impacting financial markets around the world. It comes as President Trump is under fire for his administration's response to the outbreak. The president is also being criticized by some over reports that the White House fears the outbreak could threaten his re-election this year. But the White House requested $2.5 billion in emergency funding to help contain the outbreak. Congressional Democrats called this request inadequate and accused the president of not taking the outbreak seriously. Earlier Monday, the president posted on Twitter that the virus was under control in the U.S. He added, "The stock market looks very good to me." The stocks plunged in the U.S. yesterday, as have some markets around the world.
The former mayor of South Bend appears to have a lot of ground to make up if he wants to make his case to be the Democratic presidential nominee. Pete Buttigieg will have another chance tonight to make an impact as the Democratic candidates debate in South Carolina ahead of that state's primary on Saturday. But as ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi tells us, Senator Bernie Sanders appears to be the clear frontrunner right now.
By the way,
overnight, it was back.
Cancel all student debt.
To back.
Most Democrats are looking for a different answer than what Senator Sanders is offering.
To back.
But the solution is not for the government to take over big parts of the economy.
Town hall meetings as Democrats head into the home stretch in their fight for South Carolina. A new poll this morning shows Bernie Sanders now within the margin of error, catching up with Joe Biden, for whom Saturday's primary is a must-win.
We pay for it through a rather modest tax on Wall Street speculation. That is how we pay for that.
Sanders expanding on his college and Medicare for All platforms that have landed him as an early favorite, unveiling an itemized list of programs and how much they'll cost.
This is a list which will be on our website tonight of how we pay for every program that we have developed.
It comes as he faces backlash for these comments about Fidel Castro during a Sunday interview.
It's unfair to simply say everything is bad. You know, when Fidel Castro came into office, you know what he did? He had a massive literacy program. Is that a bad thing? Even though Fidel Castro did it?
Party members distancing themselves from Sanders' comments on 60 Minutes.
I thought, when I heard that, I shivered. That reinforced the fear that South Carolinians have about his so-called democratic socialism. I think that was an unforced error.
Mona Kosarabdi, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Good Morning Indiana, they're being ordered to tear down their homes, and it's through no fault of their own. Next, we'll show you where the order is coming and why it's being fought right here in our state.
A former foster child who suffered years of abuse is now on a mission to improve the lives of others. Coming up, his work to make sure that no other foster child has to suffer the same way. It is 6:39 here on your Tuesday. We'll be right back with Good Morning Indiana.
Live. Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Thousands of Indiana families could be forced to tear down their homes because of flood concerns. The Department of Natural Resources sent notices to residents instructing them to not only leave their houses, but also to tear them down.
So let's take you to this location. Lyra Bates tells us the department determined her family cabin is in a floodway and is so dangerous that it must be removed. Bates says this is especially painful for her because her mother bought the cabin just a couple of years ago before her unexpected death this past December.
She just really wanted to save this cabin. She also truly wanted all of her children and grandchildren to always enjoy this cabin. She thought it would be in our family for many years, and she always was telling me, you need to go down to the cabin and enjoy the cabin. And so now that we're having it just ripped away from us with losing all of her investment as well, it's heartbreaking.
An emotional moment for this family. The DNR tells RTV6 it cannot comment right now due to pending legislation and ongoing legal review by an administrative law judge.
It's so easy to blame the system and so easy to blame DCS for not noticing these signs or not picking up on these signs, but how can the community notice?
Everybody can prevent child abuse. That's what one victim of years of abuse believes and wants to help train communities to better recognize those signs. Matthew Pfeiffer and his two sisters were molested and abused by their adoptive parents for 13 years. His sister Emily escaped one day and alerted someone who called police. 2 years, 8 different foster homes later, just 1 month after Emily aged out of the system, she committed suicide. That's why Matthew is now on a mission to help the community and law enforcement recognize the signs of child abuse. He started a nonprofit called A Voice for Kids. Through that program, he meets with schools, churches, and other groups, sharing habits that kids who are abused might form. He also created his own training program for police officers.
My case, I reached out to law enforcement 4 different times. It was those hang up 911 calls. I vandalized my dad's car, so to speak. It was just opening up the driver door, airing out the back tires, and I put the stuff in the console and strewed it all over the ground.
The overwhelming majority of law enforcement officers, they wouldn't even think about that. Well, why are we going back to this house for the 3rd time in 2 weeks? Because somebody's letting air out, their tires, and you just don't think to interview the kids.
Matthew is currently working with the Delaware County Sheriff's Office. The same training will be implemented soon at the Muncie Police Department. The sheriff encourages other agencies to consider contacting this organization as well.
Who is the champion making a visit to Indiana tonight? That's the correct question to today's Jeopardy clue. We'll have the answer to that question just ahead. Todd.
As you walk out the door this morning, you're walking out once again to some shower activity across central Indiana. Temperatures today won't do a whole lot, but you're above freezing. That's the good news. Grab the umbrella. You'll need it. But in the forecast for tomorrow is accumulating snow. We'll have the latest on this coming up in your Storm Team 6 forecast. Time now is 6:45. Stay with us. We're back in just a few minutes.
A Dream Mattress Studio at Value City Furniture.
It is 6:47. Here's a live look at your wet morning commute. This is up on the north side, I-465 near Michigan Road. You can see through the rain droplets there on the camera. Traffic is picking up and traveling up to speed.
Tonight, you have a chance to stump Jeopardy's greatest champion of all time. Ken Jennings will be at DePaul University in Greencastle to speak as part of the school's Up and Lecture series. It will also feature a Q&A session where audience members can try to stump Jennings with their own trivia questions. Last month, you saw Jennings win Jeopardy's Greatest of All Time series right here on our TV6. The event begins at 7:30 and is free and open to the public, but you should get there early because there aren't tickets and seating is first come, first serve. And if you do stump him, let us know. I want to know what the question is that's going to stump him, Raphael.
The question this morning is, where is the party there on Bourbon Street? You know, this camera is up and going. People are, shh, be quiet, they're sleeping.
Finally.
On the calendar this year, of course, the big day, Mardi Gras, Fat Tuesday. I'm going to call it All Sizes Tuesday. That way, if you're skinny or in between, you can eat all you want. Have a beignet, have a hot chocolate. I don't know, a live look at the streets of the French Quarter in New Orleans. Oh, look. Traffic cam is ready. Lauren, Casey, what can you tell us about this corner there in Bourbon Street?
It looks pretty quiet.
Yes.
This
is better than last year. We had like a little incident here.
This is the same corner where we saw a car pull up and almost hit a gentleman on a bike. Yeah, so
this year, 2020, seems to be going
keep
well.
It safe.
Yeah,
keep it safe out there.
Down there.
Yes.
Well, back here at home, we got to take a look at the forecast.
Oh, we can't keep drinking?
Yeah, we can't keep looking at that. We got to head back to Central Indiana.
Raphael.
Our streets are wet from rain. The streets there, not wet from rain. I'll tell you that much. We continue to deal with these scattered showers across the area, and it's just a damp and dreary start to our day. And honestly, that's kind of the feel we'll have throughout the entire day today. But we're starting to see more substantial shower activity starting to make their way into Terre Haute, over towards the Greencastle area. Some spotty showers in and around the metro area. There's also some patchy drizzle that the radar just can't pick up. And so we'll deal with all rain throughout the day today. But you look off to the west and you see the snow, and this is what we'll contend with tomorrow as two areas of low pressure are going to come together. And the track is a little further south today than it was yesterday. Yesterday we had winter storm watches that were posted up in the Chicagoland area. Those have shifted now to include central Indiana throughout the course of the day today. How about our featured pups of the day here, Gracie and C? Thanks to Tammy for sending them in. They're all ready for either their treats or their walk outside. Well, if you're walking outside today, we'll give you the caution pause. Temperature's going to hold pretty steady in the 40s, but we'll be dealing with these rain showers off and on throughout the day today. And of course, you can send your pictures to my Facebook page, Todd Clausen, RTV6. So this is Tuesday's TrueCast. Today, we'll deal with scattered showers off and on throughout the day. Have the rain gear handy. None of the rain's all that heavy throughout the day today. More kind of just a pesky drizzle and light shower activity off and on. But as we push into tonight, you notice the changeover to snow starting to take place as the colder air comes in. Tomorrow's not going to be the most pleasant day. There's no way to really sugarcoat it. Temperatures will be falling. The wind will really start to kick up and gust over to 25 miles per hour. And we'll have changing road conditions. So as this snow comes in tomorrow, essentially the temperatures will still be hovering above freezing. The ground temperatures, we've been in the 40s and 50s in some areas the past few days. A lot of that snow is going to melt. As soon as the sun starts to set tomorrow, that's when the roads could start to slicken up really, really quick. So that's what I mean by changing road conditions. Winter storm watch posted for the northern half of the state does not include Indianapolis as of right now. This will likely get moved to a winter weather advisory just like we have in Illinois at some point throughout the day today. Snow will develop overnight across the area, so expect the potential for maybe some slick conditions tomorrow morning, but the big push of heavier snow is going to be during the afternoon hours tomorrow. Show you two computer models. They differ a little bit. This one is putting down anywhere from about 3 to 6 inches of snow, 3 to 6 inches of snow in northern locations, about 1 to 3 in the metro area. Points to the south, we're going to be seeing a little bit less than that. This other computer model kind of just downgrades the snow totals just a little bit. So I'm thinking 1 to 3 inches in the metro area and about 3 to 5 inches as you work your way into northern locations throughout the day tomorrow. Once we get past today, it's a pretty quiet forecast with lots of sunshine heading our way, but temperatures well below normal. In fact, anywhere from about 10 to 15 degrees below normal all the way through the weekend. Lauren?
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on your roads this morning. Want to take you up right now here to the northwest side. Just a heads up, we do have some ramp work here as you're traveling southbound. You kind of go westbound to southbound on 465 there on the loop. The ramp system to I-865 I-45. We have construction work there that is scheduled through Friday morning. Keep that in mind as part of your commute. Other than that, traffic is moving along up to speed around the metro area.
The rise and fall of Harvey Weinstein coming up on the next hour of Good Morning America right here on RTV6. One of Weinstein's victims live in Times Square as she opens up about testifying against him in court.
It is the end of the line for some food court freeloading for one big warehouse chain. We'll show you which store is saying no more to non-members chowing down on their cheap hot dogs. We'll be right back.
Hiring Hoosiers only on RTV6. So if you have a membership at Costco, you know that one of the perks, of course, is the food court, right?
Yeah.
Where you can have a quick bite, super cheap. The hot dogs, they're still $1.50, and everything else is priced well below what it might be elsewhere.
Yeah. There's just one problem, though. A lot of non-Costco members are making their way to the stores simply to indulge in that cheap slice of pizza and nothing else. So Costco is now putting a stop to that.
Yeah, so Costco posted notice on its social media saying that as of March 16th, you'll need an active Costco membership card to buy food from the food court. A post on Costco's Instagram page says some Costco locations may even implement that rule before the date as well. I didn't know you could get into the food court without having a membership because they always check it at the door.
But I always did find it intriguing how many people, no matter when I go, are in the food court eating.
I say that today, road trip to the south side of Indy. Let's check it out.
There's one in Greenwood.
Yeah, there's also one in Castleton
we'll hit both.
and right on the Carmel Indy line.
Hot dogs.
So you go to all three. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Yes, there you go.
All right, we have some rain showers out there here this morning, and we'll kind of deal with them off and on throughout the day today. They'll be fairly light throughout the day today. Our big issues arrive tomorrow as we deal with some accumulating snow. Winter storm watches are posted across parts of the area. Probably about 1 to 3 inches of snow tomorrow in the metro area. Higher totals to the north, lower totals to the south.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We're back here in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America with news, weather, and traffic.
All your news throughout the day is on the RTV6 app.
Have a great day. Good Morning America is next right here on RTV6.